YouTube. While I'm waiting on y'all to come in, I'm going to play with these buttons. Oh, that's cool. I can shut y'all off. Unmute the mic. What's this button? I can create a short out of a live. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's play with the lighting. I like that better. What y'all think? Lo-do-do. Lo-do-do-do-do-do. All right, green screen. That confused itself, I think. Oh, look at that. All right, now people are popping in. What's up, yo? Today we're going to jump in. I saved my place with a toothpick. This is Ecclesiastes. It's good stuff. So let's pray in. God, I thank you for the day. I thank you for life. Thank you for the breath in my lungs, the thoughts in my mind, the ability to walk, the ability to talk, everything. God, I thank you for everything. Bless us with your word. In your name I pray. Amen. All right, if you can remember what we talked about yesterday, if you was here. If you weren't, man, let's jump on board. We talked we're still in the first chapter of Ecclesiastes, and pretty much Solomon wrote this book. And in the Bible, Solomon was the wisest man to ever live. And this is the end of his days, and he is writing basically kind of memoirs, what I call the old man's last advice. So here we go, verse 12. I, the teacher, I've been king over Israel and Jerusalem. I've applied my mind to seek and explore through wisdom all that is done under heaven. God has given people this miserable task to keep them occupied. I've seen all things that are done under the sun and have found everything futile, a pursuit of the wind. And my favorite translation says meaninglessness. Everything is meaninglessness. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have amassed wisdom far beyond those who were over Jerusalem before me. My mind has thoroughly grasped wisdom and knowledge. I've applied my mind to know wisdom and knowledge, madness and folly. I have learned that this too is a pursuit of the wind. For much wisdom is much sorrow. Knowledge increases grief. As knowledge increases, grief increases. And this is how he ends chapter 1. So what he's trying to do here is basically say, man, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. I've chased wisdom. I've chased knowledge. I've chased everything that a man could possibly chase. And I found it to be all meaninglessness. And that sounds so depressing until you really start to think it through. Like, is it really so depressing? So I get on YouTube and I scroll around, and it doesn't take me long to run across one of those influencers that are talking about how to get rich and how to be successful and all this good stuff. And what I see is something that I don't want to do. I don't want to do those things. I don't want I don't want to be a rich influencer because I see what it cost them. I see how much time and effort they have to put into it. And I find it to be so ironic that you have to put so much time, effort, and energy into something that sucks all your time, energy, and freedom away. So if I'm trying to pursue what the world would define as success, and which is supposed to give me security and comfort, but that security and comfort cost me my soul. I have to sell my soul to it. I have to sell all my time to it. I have to sell all my freedom to it. What's that worth? What's that worth? That sounds like a meaningless pursuit. And, you know, the question I ask, and I'm going to keep asking, is what is a meaningful pursuit? What's a meaningful pursuit? And as we go through Ecclesiastes, we'll discover this. We're going to tear into it and try to dig into understanding what a meaningful pursuit is. Because I don't want to waste my days. Life is so short. Life is so short. And you blink your eye and it's over. Absolutely over. You blink your eye and you don't even, what's up, Ryder? Can't read this morning. But what is a meaningful pursuit? You know, I want to explore this in Ecclesiastes, because the last thing I want to do is chase the wind and miss my opportunity to live. Chase the wind and miss my opportunity to live. And I see so many distractions around me. I see so many distractions. Chase food, chase money, chase women, because I'm a dude. I don't chase men. Chase food, chase money, chase women, chase stuff, chase social status, your political status, power. Man, it reminds me of seagulls chasing after breadcrumbs on the seashore. Like, bird, you could be flying. You could be flying. Instead, you're squabbling with other birds over literally nothing. But that's what we want to do. We as humans want to follow the path of least resistance. And too often that leads us running to a place where we never actually enjoy life. We never actually experience life. We never live. And that's the point of living, is to live. And so, what things could we pursue that are meaningful? What things could we pursue that are meaningful? We'll explore that as time goes on. Oh, most definitely, White Cloud. I am all about some motorcycles. My channel is called Motorcycle Madness. I literally, everything I do involves motorcycles. If I can figure out how to make motorcycles my day job, I would do it. But that's what we're going to pursue. Oh man, too many. My favorite bike is kind of an unconventional one. It's not it's not a Harley. I do like Harleys. I have one. It's just in pieces at the moment. But my favorite bike is my Nighthawk, which is the one I kind of show on my channel all the time. And yesterday we made some progress on it. I set my video camera up and we tore the plastics off. We tore the tank off. I'm probably not going to do any work on it today because I need to get to work right after this. But it's my favorite. Now the one I do long distance with is a Honda Shadow. It was one of my first big bikes, and then everybody kept telling me it's a 750. Everybody kept telling me that, you need a bigger bike, you need a bigger bike, you need a bigger bike, you need a bigger. And so, hey, whatever. I listened to them. I got a bigger bike, and it was fun. I started my big bike journey with a VTX 1300, which I still have over there in pieces. Half the pieces are gone. I've actually got two of them. The other one's with my dad. We kind of share custody of that one. But most of the pieces off mine are with my dad. And what I recommend for a first bike, dude, hands down, a Honda Shadow. You can't beat them things. Let me tell you why I go back to a Shadow. It's specifically a 750 Shadow. They're very tame bikes. And If you get a good seat, you can tour on it. They get good gas mileage. They have enough power to keep up with traffic. They have enough power to overtake traffic, but not so much power to where you can lose control if the weather gets a little funny. The balance on a Honda Shadow is like no other bike I've ever ridden. When you start riding, what you'll notice with motorcycles is they have two balance points: the center of the wheel and the center of the actual bike itself. And depending on how much you weigh will actually change that a little bit. But the way a Honda Shadow is designed, the center of the wheel and the center of the bike are almost on the same plane. And so when you slow down, the way the bike drives doesn't change. When you speed up, the way the bike drives doesn't change. And that's very different than other bikes. The lighter bikes, you'll definitely notice a change between slow driving and fast driving. The bigger bikes, same thing. You'll notice the difference between slow driving and fast driving. Because depending on how fast you're going, it's going to depend on which one of those balance points are in play. And but a Honda Shadow, hands down, they're very forgiving in the way they handle. They're very forgiving in the way, they take off. They're not going to rip out from underneath you. You ain't got to worry about doing wheelies on one if you gas it too hard. And man, overall, they're great. They're great bikes. I love mine. I've gone, I think last time, now this one I'm riding now, I bought brand new back in 22, and I've put well over 18,000 miles on it. And no, they're not high maintenance at all. Yeah, you change the oil. That's pretty much it. The factory manual says you're supposed to adjust the lifters. I haven't had to do that yet. But and the new Honda Shadows are all shaft drives, so again, very low maintenance. Versus a bike like my Nighthawk, which has a chain, and you constantly have to adjust it. You constantly have to oil it. So they're great bikes to start, and you can pick them up cheap. You don't have to go down to the dealership and buy a brand new one. You can buy a used one. For around here, they sell for a running bike, like one you can get on, jump on, and go. They sell from about $1,500 to $2,500. I wouldn't pay more than $3,000 for a Honda Shadow, because brand new, you can get one brand new for $8,000. Why would I buy a used one for over $3,000? They depreciate. That's one thing I can say against them, though. They do depreciate very quickly. But you know what Honda is an acronym. Harley owners need dependable alternatives. It's an acrostic. Harley owners need dependable alternatives. So get you a Honda, ride the wheels off of it, learn how to ride on it, ride the wheels off of it. And when you're ready to upgrade, don't sell it. Just put it in a corner. If it's a fuel injected bike, put it in a corner and forget about it. If it's a carbureted bike, shut the fuel off at the tank, drain the carburetor, and when you're ready to ride it again, when your Harley inevitably breaks down, you're good to go. You'll always have a bike. That was my motivation for buying a 750, was to always have a bike. And so yeah, man, you should totally jump on one. You should totally get you one. You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll either love it or hate it, one of the two, but I think you'll love it. Take your time. Ride with sensible, experienced people who understand your limitations. And man, my nose is itchy for some reason this morning, y'all. People who understand your limitations. When I ride with beginner riders, I'm not going to go wide open throttle everywhere I go. I'm going to take my time. And because I care more about them, I care about them learning how to ride, and I care about them being safe. And that's the kind of person you want to ride with. That's the kind of person you want to teach you. That's who taught me. A good friend of mine, my friend Pete, who unfortunately earlier this year passed away. He taught me how to ride. He actually helped me. He sold me my first bike, helped me fix it. Like we rebuilt the engine together. And man, we rode the wheels off that thing. So I always get that. I always get to keep his memory But yeah, you want to find somebody good to ride with. And if you can't, start off in a parking lot making circles. Tight maneuvering, figure out what that bike can do. Especially if you got a used bike, who cares if you land it over? Oops. Start off in a parking lot. Learn how to take off by just letting go of the clutch. Don't touch the gas, just let go of the clutch. It'll teach you good clutch control. And make circles. Get up to first, second, third gear and make circles. Once you get comfortable riding around in third gear, then go up and down the roads. Do a lot of start, stops, and then ride down back roads. That's how I learned. And I daily drive a motorcycle. Well, at least I did until I got into Spark delivery. Now, unfortunately, I'm stuck in a cage all day. But hey, whatever. I do love my little CRV. It's become my second home. So when I'm not here doing YouTube, that's where I'm at. But yeah, you should totally get you one. And don't shy away from other bikes too. Just because I recommend a Shadow, man, there's plenty of other bikes. Those little Groms look like a lot of fun. No, I've actually never wrecked a bike. I've come close a bunch, which is why I tell you, be careful. You're going to look at, generally, if you're going to get hurt on a bike, it's going to be within that first year of ownership, to be honest. Because you're learning the skills, you're learning the reflexes, you're learning this new instinct that you got to have. Because riding a bike is a lot different than riding a cage. You got to ride like you're invisible. Ride like you're invisible. Always be looking for road hazards. And assume people are going to pull out in front of you and cut you off. Assume people can't see you and that they're going to cut you off. I hear all the time from other friends of mine, they're always saying like, oh, people don't respect bikes. People don't respect bikes. Well, no, they can't see them. You can't respect something you can't see. I know this. This is why I've never wrecked a bike. I may wreck one today. Who knows? But as of right now, I've never wrecked one. And man, just ride with common sense. Ride with common sense. The speed limit's 70 on the highways, on the interstates. It's 65 on the highways and 55 everywhere else. You don't even have to go that fast. Take your time. So yeah, pick you one that you like and run with it. I mean, and you don't have to start off with a small bike if you don't want to. Bigger bikes are a little more difficult to learn on. But I got a good friend of mine started out on an 1100 Shadow, and if you've ever owned one of them things, man, they want to kill whoever sits on them. And he did a good job. He learned it, and he never wrecked it. But man, do it. You won't regret it. And the worst thing you can do is buy one, learn how to ride it, and say, this ain't for me, and then move on. You can always sell it. But I'll see what time it is. Man, it's 8:18. We got a few more minutes to roll. But segue back to Ecclesiastes. In this first chapter, Solomon's kind of laying the foundation of what he's going to talk about. In verse 18, he nails it. For much wisdom comes much sorrow. As knowledge increases, grief increases. One thing I've noticed in my personal pursuit of wisdom is you can't justify stupidity anymore. You can't justify your own stupidity. When you know better, you can't not do better. You can't enjoy not doing better. When you know something's wrong, you know something's not good for you, versus when you don't. And that's a beautiful place to be. That's a place you shouldn't shy away from. Because, man, y'all, this is driving me insane. I feel like I'm snorting spiders. Something in the air. And this big old fan next to me. But when you know better, you can't enjoy doing better. And what's difficult for me is seeing people around me, again, not being judgmental, but people who have a low sense of conscientiousness, who are not self-aware, who are not conscious of their own behaviors and their own actions. and to have to watch them waller in dysfunction, it's painful. It's really painful, especially if you care about them, because you know in your heart, because this is what wisdom says. Wisdom tells me all the time, hey, they got to figure it out for themselves. They got to figure it out for themselves, or they'll never learn. And they're either going to figure it out the hard way, from the easy way, by learning from other people who've made mistakes, or they're going to learn the hard way through their own mistakes, or unfortunately, they may never learn at all. And so, what can I do? Well, for one, I can't alleviate that pain. We should never run away from pain. We should never run away from emotional pain. Maybe physical pain. If you're doing something that hurts, stop. Unless that thing is good for you. But that emotional pain, you shouldn't run away from. You should face it, and you should let it inspire you to want to do even better. Because if I can do better, and inspire someone else through my own actions, through my behavior, through the way I carry myself, through the way I love people. Because again, you're not going to influence anybody positively unless you actually care about them. Then that's inspiration for me to do those things. And too often I see, oh man, yeah, I'm good. Except for my nose, I don't know what's going on there. But too often I see people in the Christian church, hey, what's up, yo? They say, do as I say, not as I do. Well, how do I know what you're saying is correct? How do I know that I should do what you say if you don't do it as well? If I don't see the positive influence, the positive effects in your life, why should I do what you say? If I don't see the positive effects of your life, if you are so hateful and angry, why should I do what you say? And this goes with anybody. I get a lot of hateful people that say, well, you should do this and you should do that and you should walk this way and talk this way and you're wrong and you're wicked and horrible if you don't do what I'm saying you should do. Well, all right, well, I look at your actions, and what your actions are telling me is that if I do what you say, you're a miserable person and I'm going to be miserable. And then when I look at how much you grow as a person and I see that you're not growing, why should I follow that? Why should I want to follow that? And so, I always encourage people who listen to me, don't just take my word for things. Never just take my word for things. Seek it out for yourself. And by doing that, you learn it for yourself. If there's any value to anything I say, if there's any real wisdom into anything I say, and you take it for yourself, and you learn it for yourself, then it's not my wisdom you're receiving, but you're building your own. I don't want to tell you how to live your life. I want to inspire you by how I live mine. And the first way you do that is how you love people. In life, wisdom says, Solomon says, with wisdom comes pain, with knowledge is suffering. Well, without wisdom is pain, and without wisdom is suffering. And so he's not warning you to stay away from wisdom, but instead what he's doing is getting you ready for it. He's getting you ready. He's setting you up, saying, hey, this is not going to be an easy journey, but it's a meaningful one. And I know this from firsthand experience. Not that I am this wise sage, but the pursuit of wisdom is something I obsess over. If I'm going to obsess over something, it's going to be wisdom. Because my life is short, and again, I want it to be meaningful. And I don't want it to just be about me either. I want to leave something when I'm done with this world, and I'm laying in a casket or an urn, whichever. I want what I leave behind in this world to be something that's worth having. And so that's why I chase wisdom so hard. But from personal experience, I can tell you there's a lot of suffering that goes in with it. You're going to hurt. You're going to feel pain from it. But it's good hurt. It's good pain. And it's pain that motivates you in a positive way. If you see someone else suffering and they're not growing from it, then that's the wrong suffering. If you see someone suffering and they're growing from it, that's the right suffering. So, we've talked a lot about suffering. Let's give some hope for the future. The hope for the future, man, is that tomorrow can be a better day. Hope for the future is that today can be a better day. Hope for the future. Hope for the future. Let me give you some hope for right now, which is going to create hope in the future. Just because we make mistakes doesn't make you a mistake. You're not worthless. You're not stupid. And the world is a better place with you in it. You know how I know that? Because I lived it. There was a time in my life where I felt all of those things. I felt like I was worthless. I felt like I was stupid. I felt like my contribution to the world wasn't worth anything. And that's wrong. I believe you're made in the image of God himself. I believe you're made in the almighty, infinite image of God. And we should live like that. So, I love you guys. It's time for me to start my day and deliver some groceries to some people who are hungry. All right, love you guys. Y'all have a blessed day. I will catch you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Be looking for my channel. I'm going to let y'all know as progress continues. You know what? Let's look at some progress. As progress continues on the motorcycle of madness, on our darling Haley. Here she is. Wow, that's a green screen. That didn't work. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's swap the camera around. What is even happening? I don't even know. There we go. There we go. There she is. We've stripped the tank off. We've stripped the covers off. Let's see where my camera stand is. My friend Nikki donated me a cool little stand here. I really love that. That's going to be convenient. And look, if you got spare milk crates floating around, put you a cardboard sheet in the bottom of them. I haven't done that to this one, but you can put a cardboard sheet in it, and they are great parts holders. So the goal is to get this motor off. When we get this motor off, we're going to work on putting a new one on, which might require some fabrication. Who knows? And look at that battery right there. I found that at AutoZone. It's a lithium battery. Them things are great. And so that's it, man. We're making some progress on her. And when we have that progress made, we're going to do a meet and greet event. And I guess this phone is all about some green screen. We'll do a meet and greet where I take her on a road trip and tell you guys where I'm going to be at. And I'd love to see some of y'all. So anyway, let me roll out of here. Y'all have a blessed day. And don't forget, you're awesome.